So your dad was in law enforcement. You have brothers and sisters?
I do. I have a younger brother that's in law enforcement and then an older brother that is just kind of in the private industry.
Okay. Do you think you're same reason why you went into law enforcement, your brother went into law enforcement? It's because of your dad?
He probably, yeah. He actually got into it about a year before I did. Um, just had his life together a little bit better than me.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I would say probably the same reasons.
Okay. But you didn't like say, this is what I want to do. I want to go into law enforcement. How did you kind of give me the path of how you ended up in law enforcement though?
Yeah. So, typical teenager getting out of high school and not knowing what you want to do. I went to a little bit of college and that kind of bored me. I went to a college prep school. So when I went to college, not right out of high school, a little bit later. And so they wanted to put me back in classes that are regular college, like preliminary classes. And I was already a little bit more advanced from that, from going to a preparational high school. So I just, I failed at it. I just dropped out is what I did. It just wasn't for me. And so I got into, used to street race cars and got into cars and automotive. And I actually moved to Big Pine, California, and worked as a mechanic up there for a couple of years. And my good friend, him and his father were both paramedics. And I started getting into the emergency response world. So became an EMT, worked as an EMT for several years, and looking at getting into LA County Fire. But at the time, that was a really difficult thing. It was, I forget the measure that had passed, but basically they were prioritizing Hispanics and females. So as a white male, they did it on a points-based system. So you got significantly more points for being Hispanic or female. And I might have been able to go that route, but I didn't really have a passion for it. And I started following the family career, and it had always kind of been like in my blood per se. Just growing up with my father, the stories he'd come home with every night. He used to work down at Lennox, and he'd come home with these stories, and it was just arrests and different events that they had. And then he transferred up to the Antelope Valley near where we lived. And so then off duty and stuff, he would take us out and we would go do, like, he was never off duty. On his off time, he was scoping out cars or houses, drug labs and stuff. He was watching stuff, getting, background information. So when he was on duty, he knew what he was looking for. It was fun.